Welcome to another episode of AI and Finance Demo or Demonstration, where we look at the landscape of AI tools, the vast and quickly growing ecosystem and landscape, and then we dive into one AI tool each episode and tell you and talk to you about what it means for wealth management, how we could utilize it within our business pertaining to us. So distilling all the noise and bringing it back to reality of what it means to us in our industry. So today, what I want to take a look at is Google Gemini. There's been a lot of headlines and talk about Google and their AI development. They started off really slow, kind of where Apple is today, but have really advanced quickly and is now really one of the leaders in the AI space. Google Gemini is very similar to ChatGPT or Claude or Perplexity. But there's a few nuances that I thought were really interesting that I wanted to share with you today. So I'm going to walk you through a few areas with regards to deep research, and then I'm going to do the Canvas example and show what we can do within Canvas. And we're going to explore how to do some research on a topic, turn it into a client newsletter, and also two other pieces of content, an infographic and also an audio clip. So as we've seen with Google Notebook LM, the audio functionality was super interesting. There's something similar here in Google Gemini. So let's hop into it. This Google Gemini looks very similar to a lot of the other like ChatGPT and etc. So what I want to do is I want to do deep research, and I've already done this one because it takes a little bit of time. But I wanted you to see just the process that Gemini goes through, and then I'll show you the output within one of my past examples, and we'll use that going forward. So what I'm doing here is I say I want to do a historical research of how the stock, or do a historical research of how the stock market performs during different Congress and president orientations, meaning what the president, when the president is Republican and both House and Senate is Democrat led. I want to look at all different variations and see how equities and bonds perform and get a breakdown of how sectors have performed as well, along with general market indices. So I'm going to send that. And so I clicked on deep research here, and it's going to take a second. What's really interesting, and some of the other deep research tools does this, but Google puts together a plan. We're going to identify the historical periods corresponding to each unique combination for each identified historical period. So it's walking you through. This is a little bit of what's considered human in the loop. So you can then edit the plan if you want, or you can click Start Research. And so I'm just going to click Start Research, and it's just going to start researching. And you can really watch this entirely all the way through as it goes through and thinks. It shows its thinking of what it's doing, right? So I'm starting to research how stock and bond markets have performed. Next steps, I'm planning to cast a wide net initially to gather potential sources. So you can see how it is thinking. This takes anywhere between, it depends on the topic, 3, 5, maybe 10 minutes at most, I think. But it's going to go through that process. I've already done this process with the same exact question. So if you see here, it's the same exact question here. It walks through the process. And then I said start the research, and it completed the report. And so here's the report. It's got tables in here. It goes all the way back to 1857. Now, of course, you want to review some of this information to make sure that it's correct. And it goes through here. It talks about, gives some different aspects here. It's crucial to recognize statistics can be influenced by various factors, and market performance is not solely directed by the party occupying the White House. Does a little bit of compliance for us, everybody there as well. Another chart here, and it goes through. What I did is I exported this. You can create from this some things that we are going to do, but I want to take it a step further. I actually exported this into Docs, Google Docs, as you can see here. So it exported, and it came over really well. It has the tables and everything. And then I created it as a PDF because what I want to do is I want to do something different. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a new chat, and we're going to go into Canvas. And I am going to ask Canvas to please take the attached research report and draft me a conversational toned newsletter that I can share with my retired wealth management clients. I want it to be easy to read, valuable in nature, and informative as well. So with that, I'm going to now take that download of this PDF, and I'm going to drop it right in there for it. So now it's a PDF. So we're going to see now what happens. So I'm going to let it go here. it's going to take a second. And what's going to happen, it's going to open up on the side. You're going to see it start typing. And there we go. We now have a newsletter about politics, right? So what about bonds and different? So the key takeaway here is reduce policy uncertainty. Why unified governments reduce policy uncertainty? That's pretty clear. When one party holds the reins. So maybe this is a little bit long. Maybe you want it shorter. It gives me some notes here, easy to read, valuable, informative, actionable, call to action. So we can easily copy and paste it. So now we have the newsletter. We could have an entire conversation just like we do with ChatGPT right here, and we would watch all of the edits. So maybe I want to say, can we shorten can we create a shortened version? And we'll see what happens here. So I'll create a shortened version, I assume, right over here. So I'll move my face over on that side. And you can watch it. Just like that, it created that shortened version. It works really quickly. But here's something that I think is really unique and interesting with Gemini 2.5. So here are the model, right? You have the different models up here, just like you do in all the other LLMs. 2.5 Flash is what I'm using. I am going to create an infographic. So this is a visual documentation of what we're talking about. I'm going to create an infographic. As you saw on that, we could create a web page as well using this information, which is super interesting to do as well. So this is going to take a second or two, and I'll just pause the video and then I'll cut it so it shows up. But you can see it's thinking. We can even show the thinking that it's doing, and it's creating it with the code, and it's talking to itself. You see it's coding the entire infographic right here for us. We could say what colors we want. We could do whatever we want. And so we'll take a quick pause and then we'll come back and see the final version. All right, we're back. And now you can see that there's an infographic right here that has been created. I can see it all here, the presidential puzzles. So this is the average return of Democratic presidents versus Republican presidents. This is data that comes from the report. Gives us source material as well, because remember that research that we did had multiple sources in there that it used. Annual market differences, 8.7% higher average excess returns under unified governments compared to divided governments. It's got emojis in there, how political unity impacts the broader market, small versus large companies, the bond market as well. You can see sector performance, a more complex story. It gives a little bit of annual returns. And it also then, provides sources as well. And it gives a little bit of is ineffective strategy. Attempting to time the market based on political changes is an ineffective strategy. It gives a little bit, disclosure there as well. You can share this. So you copy this, you can share it. Again, just something very, very interesting on what is able to be done within Google Gemini. So the other aspect that I want to do is I want to show you how we can also create an audio overview. So if I want to send this as an audio version, I can create an audio overview. And this is, again, one of the really unique parts of Notebook LM. And this is now also in Gemini. And so taking the content that I'm having conversation about, and it's going to generate an audio overview. So we're going to take a break as it generates, because it takes a couple minutes to generate. And then I'll play it for you so you can see now you'll have differentiated ways to communicate the same content to clients of yours or to prospects. All right, so the audio is complete. You see it here. Here was our infographic that we had. I'm going to close out of that and we're going to press play. I'm going to move it around, but I'll share with you the audio version of what we had just done research on and written a newsletter on.
Ever wondered how all that political back and forth in Washington actually hits your investments?
Yeah.
Especially around election time.
It's a big question, definitely.
Well, today, we're doing a deep dive into some recent research. It looks at, how U.S. financial markets perform under different political setups.
Yeah, some interesting findings there.
And here's what really stood out to me.
So then I'm going to move it forward just so you can hear a little
higher
more.
economic policy uncertainty.
Interesting. And companies. Does it affect all businesses the same way?
Not quite. Smaller companies often feel it more acutely.
Why them specifically?
Well, they usually have fewer resources.
You can see the dialogue. You have two individuals there. You've now created a newsletter from some deep research all within one ecosystem and in a very short period of time. This is just a really innovative way to think about how to create content, how to serve unique content to your families. And you can have now an omni-channel content. One research paper was able to create two pieces of content. You can then think about this of creating it over into an avatar video. You could record your own video, and you're now creating this omni-channel content. And that's what allows firms to scale content and be really in front of their clients more frequently, and also from prospects. So super interesting way of using another LLM by a big name. I would suggest go in and try it out, play around with it. Just try it on different areas and see what you come up with. Try playing with the website also within Canvas, which is over here. If you create and do web page, a quiz as well. Just have fun with it and learn by doing. So hopefully you enjoyed this AI and finance demo, and we'll be back with another one here soon.